Peace, love, light, peace be upon you and your family. I'm Prince Yehoshua, the Royal Morris family, the podcast, keeping it real. Everything is uncut, not mean raw, no cuts, all that good stuff. Keeping it 1,000. You're gonna hear some signs where you ain't gonna hear it from nowhere. Tonight I got my brother, the nation state, Crown Prince, Iyan L. Um, we gonna get into this science dealing with economics, financial literacy, the things they don't talk about. Are you really free? You know what I mean? That's the question of tonight. Are you really free? Um, but I'm gonna pass the floor to Prince so he can introduce himself, and then we'll dive right into it. We ain't got no time to waste. Peace, love, and light.
It's love. Peace, love, and light. Um, High honors and gratitude to you, Prince, to the ancestors, to the heavenly elders, and Washitaw East.
Washitaw West. Well, I got some important questions for you tonight. I know you'll dive right into it. And, tell them how old you are first and foremost. So ones don't get it twisted. And where you domicile
um,
out of? Know what I mean? How old are you? Where you domicile out of? You know, they might think you about 50, 60 years old with the knowledge you gonna drop on them.
um, so man, I appreciate that for real. I domicile over here in Alibaba, or what you would consider Alabama. And I just my most recent solar return, I'm aged at 26.
Mm. Once they get done with you tonight, they're gonna think you way older than that, brother. But the question I have for you is, why is it important for our people to understand security instruments such as bonds and credits? For those who may not understand the terms, can you break it down in a way that everyday people could grasp it of what we're talking about?
Yes, dog. Yeah, so um, I'm glad that you asked that question about bonds and securities. Um, one second.
Cause like the courthouse, they give you a charge, they throw a bond on you. With the three bureaus, they're looking for a credit. Know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of science behind the security, the bond, the credit. I mean, all of this kind of ties into the stock market. You know, we doing business. Hello.
Islam. So, um, just a plain explanation for the everyday people. Um, a security instrument is anything that represents value or a promise to pay. Um, like just examples of that would be bonds, credit, promissory notes, mortgages, loans, lines of credit, or treasury securities. Um, to put it in an even more simplistic way, any application that's submitted for anything that you're trying to obtain is considered a security or a bond.
Mm,
Um, any any transaction that you make, whether you know this or not, just you getting a deposit into your bank account from your job, or you transacting for some gas, or you buying some bubble gum. These are all security or what they would consider secure transactions or bonds. because these are credits that the company at the end of each month or every fiscal quarter are claiming as credits. And what type of credits are these? These are abandoned credits. Um, a lot of individuals don't understand the fundamental responsibilities of having a deposit account, your bank account. That's considered a deposit account. I would just, I challenge all my brothers and sisters to look up the legal definition of what a deposit account is and what a deposit account is supposed to be used for. Um, the reason these matter is because this is how America actually moves its wealth. They don't move it through cash instruments. They move it through securities and bonds. And they leverage these securities and bonds as assets on the stock exchange, in the financial market when it comes to barter and trade.
Mm.
And they utilize these assets for their taxes. That's the biggest name of the game is your taxes. See, a lot of people that are in this movement or a part of this movement, they don't like the IRS or say that the IRS is bad or they have it out for you, but the IRS is your best friend. That's your original agent. Whenever you have any disputes, whenever you have any issues with the corporation, you stick the IRS on them.
Yeah, ain't that what Donald Trump doing right now?
I ain't
Hey,
never seen nobody executed in a way like Donald Trump, to be honest.
and he going back saying, "Hey, did you do your taxes right?" Let's do an assessment on him, huh, man. Audit them.
and and the fact that he was able to do his taxes correctly and only have to pay $600, um, and he's a multi-billionaire, if not a trillionaire, because we really don't know how much he's worth. Um,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, what he did was genius, and it was all within the legal bounds of the law
Mm.
or the Constitution or whatever you want to look at it as. And they're mad because he found a legal way to do what he did. It says the government, corporations, and banks all use credit as their life blood. Everyday people use cash, which is the weakest form of value. While you're building your assets with paper and numbers on a screen, they're building up wealth with land, property, real estate. Those are all three the same things, but different, and they can be all obtained in different ways. Gold, silver, stocks, bonds, securities, right? While you're fighting to make ends meet and figure out how you're gonna make that next bill payment, or while you're figuring out how you're gonna stack up this amount of cash and save this and put this to the side, they're taking all of this money and they're making it work for themselves just by
Absolutely.
putting in the right investments, the right assets. Like just because you went and got a brand new car off the lot doesn't mean that car can make it, it can sit there and not make money for you. You choose to make it not make money because you get so attached to that vehicle. But you could easily rent that vehicle out on Turo. You could DoorDash. You could Instacart. You could do a plethora of things to fulfill that monthly obligation. And it's also as a tax deduction when you file your taxes.
Right.
It says if you don't understand credit, you are always the borrower. Those who understand it become the issuer, the lender, the one who sets terms. When you understand your position and you understand that you're leveraging this asset, this credit to get more assets and more credit, you become the creditor that they talk about or the lender because that's who you truly are. And they give you a financial asset at the closing table when you get that house, when you get that lease agreement, when you get that retail installment agreement for your vehicle, when you
Mm.
get your when you get that credit agreement for your furniture, any type of credit agreement, loan agreement, these are all considered financial assets that you could be reporting as income on your taxes and claiming and doing the proper bookkeeping that you're responsible for doing. Now I'm going to go into the definition of bond. A bond is an IOU and a promise to pay you later. Credit. You can use value now based on trust that you'll handle it later. We already been entrusted with credit from the time we were born. They gave us a reference of that credit under a bond that's on file with your state registrar. That's your certificate of birth. Once you go through the authentication process, it states on the face of that document, of that agreement, that you're backed by the full faith and credit of the United States. The identification numbers that they give to you, which are the file numbers, identify how and when that property was registered and transferred into trust. A security. This document itself has value and can be traded. How do you show that you're the registered owner over the estate? You present your birth certificate. That's documentation and proof. Whenever you're trying to verify who's the owner or who's the beneficiary or who's whoever over the account, how you prove that you have that title or that authority, you attach your birth certificate. Who else can get permission or authority to have that in their possession other than you? You can go straight down to the what is it? The health department, your local health department and get it. All you need is specific credentials and you can receive that same day. Only you can do that. Nobody else can do that. That should tell you a lot of who the owner is over that property. It shouldn't be no question. You shouldn't be over here filing a whole book bookload of documents trying to verify something when you already have verification. The state gave it to you.
Right.
Why do our people need this? Because the entire American system and government banking corporation is built on instruments, not labor. If you don't understand the instruments, you become the instrument. Islam.
As well. Yeah, if y'all got any questions or concerns about that, please put it in the comments. I mean, the comment section, or the ones that's on the live feed, you can put it in the chat. I know some of this information might go over your head, but it comes with the diligence. And the brother did simplify it. I mean, I understand, but I know my level of IT is different. But, absolutely. So I'll pass you to Mike Prince. I know we're going to pass the ball back and forth. You know, hopefully we can sum this up in the time of an hour. If not, with show must go on.
Be honest, Prince, I don't think we're gonna be able to get done in an hour with the way we finna talk on this thing. um, but I'm gonna go out with my question. So how does in a state, wait, how would you define an estate and what does it claim the estate includes in terms of property, corpus, and personal status? How would you define an estate and what claims do you think that would be included in terms of the estate when it pertains to property, corpus, and personal status?
So when it comes to the estates, you're dealing with everything that has to deal with you, the person. I mean that's include real property, personal property, the body, which is the corpse, your personal status, all the wealth, the value that's tied to the person. Um, the estates is you. Um, if you remove the E, what do you get? State. So when you was born with a birth certificate, states was established as well. But the sad thing about it, it was abandoned. Why was it abandoned? Because you wasn't aware of what was going on. You wasn't aware of what was taking place. Know what I mean? So the state is not the living body. Know what I mean? It is the entity that controls all your assets. Like you pay attention, like the state of North Carolina, right? They have a judicial system. All of this deals with trust, estates, will, testaments. Um, it's a square inside of a square inside of a square. So you are the estates. You have to take back the estates. Become the grantor, your property, place it inside your estates, your business, put it inside your estates. Everything should be going inside your estates. Know what I mean? I want trusteeship to my estates. What has more power, the trustee citizenship? Well, pardon self, the trusteeship or the citizenship? Citizenship is nothing but property. A trustee has the keys to the estates. It's like you're the court or you're the jail. You're the jail. There's cells, there's different rooms, there's different floor. As a trustee, you have the right to move wherever you please inside of this jail. Know what I mean? You go to the laundry room, you can go to the lunch, the cafeteria, you can do this, you get the open doors, you get the closed doors. Know what I mean? Your job is to keep up the estates, but the estates is you. Now, when we're dealing with the legal affairs, you're talking about if you have a business that you gonna uphold and you think it's longevity, throw it into the estates. You have a business, throw it into the estates. Even with a religion, when you have religious exemption, protect your estates with your God given rights. So, it just the stakes can get deep. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on about it. That's what comes with authenticating your birth certificate. Like he said, go to the human resource center or the health center or the vital statistic records. You know, you have the authority to go get all this paperwork that's on you as a paper trail. All these instruments, your your certificate of live birth, I mean your estates, your EIN number for the estates, establishing your trust. Nobody is stopping you for taking back the claim. Nobody. The only person that is affected is you because you don't know what's going on. You was brought to this world. Your parents signed you over to the state. Now I mean now you're a ward of the state, the vast estates. Now I mean so you got to take that power back. Dig what I'm saying? So The signs on that could get, we could be talking about that for days. But the estate is you. Know what I mean? You are a university. You are the universe. Look inside your body. It functions without you telling it what to do. Know what I mean? So the states can go into mental, spiritual, or physical. You dig what I'm saying? So the states is you. It's your universe. Know what I mean? It's your state. The each special, know what I mean, person. Know what I mean, the grantor. Know what I mean, you gotta go back and take your claim. It's a bandit. It's like a vessel that's you jumped off the vessel into the waters. I mean, nobody threw you a life jacket. You just swim back to the vessel, get on, take control of the helm, and keep flowing. So, hopefully that answered your question, Prince.
Oh,
So I'm gonna come back with you with all the different events going on in America. What do you think our people need to focus on the most?
and that's a that's a great question. Um,
Cause there's a lot being projected upon our people right now. Know what I mean, like hip hop, Hollywood, politics, news. Know what I mean, it's so much screenplay going on with our people right now. So, what do you think our people need to be focused on? Especially where we're at in this day and time. Like, what's your intake on that?
um, so I think just where we're heading in society right now, um, everything is shifting back to the original people. And we're watching a turnover happen at a rate that's never been seen before. And our people, we as a collective need to separate ourselves from that victim mentality. I understand things happen. I understand the atrocities that took place, but in the Bible, it talks about this. In the Quran, it talks about in all the books, it talks about what we dished out first. Like our people were standing on business, and we moved by principle, and we had these people under what they considered slavery first, because they were part of the Slavic trade, Slavic slave trade. I don't know if anybody heard of that. Um, but these people, we just got back what we dished out. And it talked about that in the Bible as well. And it talked about our return. Um, right now we're in the return phase and we're watching everything turn back over. We just need to accept what happened, um, who did it, and know our true enemy, because we keep pointing fingers at somebody that is really not the enemy. They might have partaked in the enemy's creation, but the true enemy is self, someone that looked like me and you. And how we can better ourselves in this economy and prepare. We need to invest in the essentials and the elements that these people are invested in. The main three elements is gold, silver, and land. The land is a resource that does not move, it does not bend, it does not change shape. The only thing that can be altered or changed with land is what is placed on it. Gold and silver, these are two elements that are going to be used in artificial intelligence, something that is going to become a part of everything that you see in society, in businesses. We have an opportunity to invest in these things and get ahead of the markets and get ahead of the times that we're stepping into. And one of the this is my fourth gem, my fourth jewel, and I don't really bring this one out much, but I'm gonna tell this to everybody that's up here on the call and that's gonna tune in. We have to get back to farming. We have to. We really have to get back to farming. If we do that and we mix it with these three vital elements, everything else will fall into place. We'll be able to have access to real estate, finances, lending, credit, anything that you can think of. All of these things can be obtained. And it doesn't take much for a few people to come together on 1 acre of land and do this. It doesn't take much to get 1 acre. I land Islam.
Peace. Yeah, that right there. That it is what it is, bro. Man, one's either want to execute or they gonna be the one getting executed. That's the way that works. But you got the flow though. It's on you.
What role does the birth certificate play in the creation of the estate and the existence of a probated will according to the document?
The birth certificate, more or less, it's a document that creates the estate and acts as like proof of the will. It has already interprobated. So ones think the birth certificate is like, oh, I have a citizenship, and I was born in America. They're creating a business. Know what I mean, so like the legal status, know what I mean, is dead basically. Know what I mean, you're letting somebody else assess your estate. Know what I mean, being probated. If you pay attention, um, if you pay attention, your birthday and the file date is two different dates. Know what I mean, they don't match at all. Um, and then that goes into the social security, a tracking number. Know what I mean? The birth certificate is really a tracking device. Know what I mean? So it could be used in several different ways. Um, People unknowingly consent to trusteeship when the birth certificate is issued, but you're not given what a trustee is, or what is your estates, or how do you assess your property, or securities and bonds. So with the birth certificate, man, we like I said, we can go on forever about that birth certificate. I mean, go look up the word certificate. I mean, go look up the word birth. These are you'll be used in Masonic terms as well. Know what I mean? The birth has to come to the doc. What is a document? But I ain't gonna go too far on that. Know what I mean? When you're on a boat, don't you gotta come to the dock? Don't something has to be documented? Okay, I'm alright. Islam, I land my plane.
I'm ready.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and swing another one your way, and I kind of like open the door for this for you. The system like Social Security, court, IRS, agency, how do you think this affect our people? Do you think it's a racist system or do it affect everyone that doesn't know their rights? I'm gonna say it one more time so everybody can
I,
hear me clearly. Cause that might need to be said one more time so everybody can grasp it. I said the systems like Social Security, which we call it SSA, Social Security Administration, keyword. Courts, IRS agency, how do you think this affect our people? Do you think it's a racist system or do it affect everyone that doesn't know their rights?
um, the prophet said, um, "My people shall perish for a lack of knowledge." Um, and I believe that our people, we, we, we don't want, or we make excuses to why we can't study certain information or just look into certain things. Um, and I believe these systems were built inside a society that historically operated on racial hierarchy. So yeah, they could have habitual outcomes that could harm people. But the deeper issue is these systems, written rules, excuse me, these systems were written on rules and not emotions, just like Monopoly. The game comes with rules. It doesn't have emotions. It just has logic, reasoning, and well calculated thought. And I feel like that's the rules to the game and the system that we're dealing with. And you have people that are in positions that could bend rules to their will. But the creator and in the New Testament, Jesus, um he talked a lot about how to deal with those situations and how to overcome them. So I feel like we don't have excuses in this day and time. And they give us one of the most vital instruments to use against these warlocks, these witches, and these evil deities that we're facing. They gave us the Bible. You can find one in every hotel, motel, every bookstore, every store you go into, and then you
Prison.
have your you prison. You got your phone. Um, like there's so many ways that you can reach this information. They make it so accessible because they know that you not going to look at it.
So Prince, wait a minute. What about can you break down Testament? New Testament, Old Testament. I don't think people understand the business term of testament. And what the Bible could be used as a legal book, a law book. Isn't it the first law book
That's
according
correct.
to the Christians?
The New Testament wrote the original laws and actually balanced taxes and currency. Um, and in the New Testament, where they talk about Jesus was just a spirit. It was a force, right? Um, They talk about how he was flipping tables and how he was walking on water. You know, when you looking at walk,
Your mic went out, Prince.
say that again.
Your mic went out.
My bad. But when they talk about water and currency and stuff, well, water, they're talking about currency. They're talking about fiat.
Mm,
Um, and that's why Jesus or Jesus was getting so upset um on his journeys when he was coming in contact with these principalities, these rulers, um, and these different administrators. So, like, we're dealing with the same type of people today, and every court is formed uh under a church, and they're ministering the dead.
mm,
The dead is the estate, which is the all capital name, and they come out in their black robe because they're acting as a priest.
mm.
I land.
Wait a minute though. We about to get into something real quick. It's about to get wicked. So you mean the judge comes out as the priest, right? So this goes back to everybody assessing this estate, but you or your family. So when you die, don't they take you to the church? Everybody put on black. The priest has to say what he says and do the ceremony over you. So he's doing an assessment of the estate. If you have a will or whatever, you ain't write it up and you have values inside the estate, don't they come in and probate it for you? So now they about to take a percentage out your estate, still feed off your your offsprings, but they're gonna pay out all the bills you owe first. So if you got 500K, you owe 250,000 in bills. You're gonna pay that. Then you're gonna pay the court for probating. Everybody's gonna get a piece of the pie, and the judge come out like a priest. So so Prince, you telling me we're just playing church?
Yeah, like just think about when you go into court. If anybody's ever been to traffic court or any type of court hearing, the first thing they come in, my court hearings be different. They don't do this with me. But if you ever in there and you sitting down, they'll be like, all rise. So when you stand up and the judge walk in and everybody stand up, they're acknowledging the fact that they're the dead. It's like think about y'all gotta look up the definition of acknowledgement and acceptance, the legal definition. That's the best way to explain what I'm trying to say. But
But they seen it.
you're accepting what they're doing in that courtroom the moment you stand up.
Hey,
Soon as you stand up.
don't he rise the dead when he come in? What they say? All rise. Y'all dead. Y'all sitting down. You're dead. Know what I mean? The bell said, all rise. All hell. Know what I mean? You
Real
get to talking
talk.
that shit. The bond is set and blah, 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 blah. I ain't never seen nobody talk that fast. Bond set at $10,000 in this way, that way, and if it ain't set, are we all in acceptance? The honorable judge is here. Hey, bro.
And then they cold with it, man. Like it's so cold because they put numbers on the screen, paper against years of your life.
Mm.
finances that you need for your bills or your obligations, because a lot of us are still living paycheck to paycheck, or we maintaining, but we just got enough to make it by, you know, like everybody where they at, and these people are administering your life energy, because you got to think about what you're giving to a corporation or to whatever you're doing when you're gathering up fiat. This is life energy that you're expending to have something that can be used as a means of currency. Land.
I'm gonna pass the ball back your way, Prince.
I'm over here getting excited, man. I'm trying to.
Hey, listen, my switch we just came on. Ding.
Hey, man, I'm over here I'm like, man, we over here. Like, yeah. But so let's get into it. My next question. How does one distinguish between an executor, a general executor, and an executor decentor? And what liabilities are associated with unauthorized administration?
Mm. So the executor has the lawful authority. I mean, that's the big dog. That's like for my states, I am Joshua Bishop EX, the executor. I mean, the general's executor manage all the estates matters. So it's like somebody you trust. I mean, yeah, leave on your house key. I mean, you might need somebody to go to the house and handle something. You trust them to go do what they need to do and lock up everything when they leave. Um, Executor the son tort is someone who acts without authority. To be real, that's like the state. Know what I mean? That's like the ones that took over your estates. You never gave them the authority to do so, but they do it anyway because you're not aware of it. So it's like you have a property, like you have a property in the country, but you don't really pay too much to it. And somebody going in and out the property, they're living in the property. Know what I mean? That's like the simplified definition of an executive decent tort. Or it might be like one of your children that's trying to come back and take over your estates because you're gone. So now I mean they're acting as a executive decent tort because they want the value that's inside it, but you never appointed that, and you might not even put it in your will, but it's probated. But he's going to take first dibs. Um, the unauthorized action is called, like we were just talking about, the executor decent tort because it interferes with the estates. Know what I mean? If somebody playing with your real property, your property, know what I mean? The legal matters, the values, know what I mean? The assessment and things of that nature. Um, Immunity comes from lawful appointment. Know what I mean? Liability comes from acting without it. So, know what I mean? Like I said, the executor decent tort be somebody coming in doing something to your estates that lowers the value, and that puts you at risk. It puts your estates at risk. Know what I mean? It's an official or individual who acts without permission. It's a liability, and that's basically like with the state. Like I said, if you transition, you'll have a will, a testament, your estate not set up with your trust. They come in as the executor decent tort, and they get to moving stuff around. Know what I mean? And You like, yo, my pops left me this, and they're like, okay, you sure about that? He ain't write it up. The money's there, but he ain't write this up. So, we're gonna come in and we're gonna charge you 25%, and you know, uh, we give you your cut. And the bank needs paid because there's bills that's owed, and this car haven't been paid, and they're probating. You know what I mean? So that's why you should have all this established by the age of 40. I personally would say the Europeans have it established probably like 25 or 30. You know what I mean? So this is new information to a lot of our people. You know what I mean? Life insurance, we don't have it. Estates, um, trusts, things of that nature is not set up. You go out here and make $1 billion. You know what I mean? And now they're taxing you because you don't know how to transfer credits and put this money here and that goes for that and that's charitable and that's tax exempted. But we can go into this all day. But I land my plane. Hopefully that gave y'all um my definitions of how I defined it. Peace. You got any comments on that, Prince?
That was fire right there. I'm over here multitasking, cleaning, you know, dealing
So
with
I
these
got
new.
I got another one. What they call this? This is called a curveball. Nationality is the order of the day. Most Moors would say, but without business expertise, what would it stand on without brothers like me and you that study how the United States came about in a business level?
Um, you know, nationality without infrastructure is only symbolism without power.
Mm,
Um, a nation must have a business, credit systems, skilled workforce, land and assets, trade relationships, contracts, trust, and corporate structures.
true.
And, they have to have business knowledge. And why business knowledge matters is, America is not simply a country, it is a corporate administrative contract driven system.
Mm,
If you don't understand that, you must misinterpret government, you must misunderstand money, you must misread courts, you must misfile documents, you mistake political power for emotional power.
mm,
Nationality without economics equals identity without leverage. Nationality with economics equals jurisdiction. Alan.
Ooh wee. That's all I'm gonna say. Ooh wee. If ones can only understand that in simplified form, like, dude, it just, hey, I ain't even gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm
uh,
just, I'm gonna be humble tonight. You know what I mean?
uh,
I'm gonna, I'm gonna humble myself. You know what I mean? Definitely gotta humble myself. So, well, you got,
why?
yo, go ahead.
I'm coming. Why? Why is the executive office the highest authority in the highest court, superior to probate and other courts?
Well, jurisdiction is said to come from the control of the estate, not geographical. The estates is ran by the executor. The executor is the highest in the court of law because he's execute. Um, and that goes back to dealing with you taking over your estates as the executor, or you let it be probated. Know what I mean? Once it's probated, they're not recognizing an executor if you let them probate your estates. Because as an executor, you know how to execute, you know how to manage, you know how to be the custodian, you know what's going on inside of your lifestyle daily. Know what I mean? That's just like when we get into court, you say, well, I never committed this crime. It's just one traffic ticket. Can I get a preferential judgment? Uh, Your Honor. So if he's your honor, then guess who is dishonorable? You. So we have to understand that the estate is ours. It belongs to us anyway. I mean, they understand that you don't know what an executor is. I mean, you don't even understand how a court functions. So it's about jurisdiction. I mean, you got territorial jurisdiction. I mean, you got prime jurisdiction. Know what I mean? And the courts once failed to challenge jurisdiction. Know what I mean? Who are you? What is your duties and obligation? Know what I mean? We're playing church again. Know what I mean? Do you want to be the member? Do you want to be the pastor? Do you want to be the deacon? Do you want to be the first lady? I mean, what position do you want to play in your life? Know what I mean? And that's what it comes to understanding business. Know what I mean? The United States corporation. Know what I mean? It's a federal corporation. Know what I mean? They do a lot of admin work. Know what I mean? They administrate. So our biggest problem is we don't know how to be the administrators to our own estates. So you have to understand what is the duties and obligations of an executor. Know what I mean? What's the duty and obligations of a general executor? What about a custodian, a trustee, grantorship? Who are the beneficiaries? Who has the fiduciary? Know what I mean? Who deals with that? Who is the power of attorney? I land my plane. These are definitions you should go look up and understand what they mean, so you can take back what you got. Any comments on that, Prince? Or are you ready for me to throw another curveball?
Um, I'm ready, but I'm clean. I'm ready, but I'm cleaning. You know, how much more time we got?
I think we have 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes left.
Let me, run the,
Let's
let
open
me
the
run.
floor real quick.
Yeah, open the floor up. Let me
Let's
let me
open.
run this vacuum. Let
Yeah,
me run this
let's
vacuum
open
over the
this.
carpet real quick.
Let me pop this floor open real quick. Peace, love, and light to the everyone that's on the panel on the call tonight. Any questions, concerns? How you feeling? You learning? You fell asleep again? I mean, what's going on?
Lamo.
Islamism.
What's the topic? You said, are you really free with Prince Iyan?
Yeah, that's Prince Iyan of the Rakai Nation. That's the topic. Are we really free? One think they free because they ones just think they free, and we still have a lot of change wrapped around us.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yep, for sure.
I mean, like we still got It's a lot of work to be done. It still is a lot of work to be done. Progress is being made, but it's absolutely a lot of work that still needs to be done.
How do we get free?
Um,
What's your demonstration on that?
how do we get free? Well,
Cause
free ain't
you
simple.
already know where I stand. You know me, Mo. You know me. You know how McNeil Bay is. Like, bruh, I'm still doing the same shit that the so-called Negro black color doing. What makes me so different? Because I got a fez on my head. I'm still paying taxes. I'm still getting up every day, 9 to 5 job. I still got to go to the European hospital, to their schools, to their banks, to their grocery stores. What's more? We don't have nothing that's ours. So, like, how do we correct all that? I mean, I know you know, but I'm gonna let you demonstrate, bro.
Um, it's sad that we are putting our people inside a facade, right? So we keep telling our people that, oh, we have a way to free you, brother, And it's not to throw shade on the temples or these different Moorish groups, but they're like, hey, brother, you come in here and you become free, brother. It's the same thing with the church. Oh, brother, come on in, brother. We gonna take away all your problems. Nigga no, nigga no, nigga no, and nigga no. Know what I mean? Uh, bills still gotta be paid. Still gotta go work a job or work a business. Still gotta go to the European hospital. Know what I mean? It's so many things that we need to do to execute, especially with our estates. A lot of our people are not shown how to go back, get your estate, authenticate your birth certificate, um, how to opt yourself out of Social Security, administrating taxes. You think that you're going to get a retirement money at 65? Uh, the generation behind me, they might make it to 33 years old, maybe. I don't think too many people gonna make it to 65 with the way the world is eating, the way they're going, X, Y, Z. The prime example of what we should be doing to free our people is with our brother doing, my brother Kerwin Pittman, L Day. Now I know one's like, oh, you still bragging about, bro? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna stop bragging because I mean the work that we have put in the state of North Carolina is fucking crazy. Know what I mean? But um, one's even with that, the unity and the support. That's why we're not free either. Um, you have Albions that are supporting the movement of what just happened, history being made. You still got our people that's haters, that's jealous, that don't want to support it. Oh, the nigga think he better than us. He done bought a prison. Oh, look at them niggas. They think they somebody. Oh, damn, boy, you got all that hate in your motherfucking heart, nigga. Come and be a part of the program so we can free our people. Know what I mean? Well, what's all the emotional bitch shit about? But ones don't understand taking a prison, just visualize taking a prison, tearing down the barbed wires, taking out the bars, the cells, turning them into bedrooms, dorm rooms, creating trade schools, uh, work trade forces, youth mentorship, um training. I mean, a campus that is going to be universal and more effective to our people than a fucking university. That's called freeing our people. No, ones don't want to talk about that. They keep talking about P. Diddy, R. Kelly, Trump did this, ICE did that. Um, and listen, I'm for it. I'm for what the monks are doing. Okay, more power to them. Question to y'all: what the fuck is that going to change in our community? Can y'all? I want somebody to answer that question. The monks walking through Raleigh, and all our people, some of our people going out there to see them, and kind of like worshiping what they're doing. I get it. But what the fuck does that benefit our community?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You
Just like
think
what's
niggas?
going on in Venezuela, our people quit to go in there and protest, and the Venezuelans don't even like you.
Yeah, they calling you niggers and everything. Nigger, 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 nigger. Fuck you,
Yeah,
nigger. This ain't your country, nigger.
they say nigga, nigga, nigga.
So our
Crazy.
people, what is
Yeah,
going, what is going
crazy.
on? Can somebody please explain to me what the fuck is going on? That quick. Same thing with motherfuckers think it's a dragon in the fucking. That's a dragon in the ocean, and the fucking government is trying to freeze the dragon. I believe if the dragon wanted to come out the fucking water and blow fire, why wouldn't the fuck he do it? Ooh, man.
Crazy, Mo. Crazy. It's crazy out there.
We in a motherfucking nutshell, nah, man. They say we crazy. Who fucking really crazy? I mean, we gotta stop with this shit.
Oh yeah, Mo. And I just want to say, to follow up on what you said about Brother Curry Pittman. Yeah, Pittman Hill. Yeah, I definitely support him. I post him. You see, I post him on my page, man. He's uplifting fallen humanity. He has made history. No one ever. I'm a North Carolinian, born and raised Raleigh, North Carolina. No one has ever bought a prison that has been to prison. This man brought a fucking prison, bro.
Mm-hmm.
A prison.
That
Goldsboro.
crazy.
I don't know if you ever heard of Goldsboro. They called it Wayne back in the day. Wayne
Wayne
Correctional.
corrections,
That's a
yeah.
nice sized prison. He bought a nice sized prison, bro. That ain't no tiny prison. That's a prison. He bought that. He owned that. I already
Mm-hmm.
told him I'm gonna help him fix it up. That's what I do. I'm gonna be there for free. Bag or no bag. I got him. And I'm gonna post him every day on my page. I don't give a fuck what more like it, don't like it. They can see me. They can see us. You feel me?
Yeah, for
Peace
sure.
and love.
For sure. And I told him, I said, my brother, he does remodeling. He said, yo, hit, tell him, hey, it's a go. Nah, man, I'm supposed to go back down there as soon as this weather clear up. But ones don't understand that he cracked history of the United States, not even just North Carolina. There's nobody in this nation that has been incarcerated that bought a prison that's going to tear it down and turn it to a rehabilitation campus. I think some of our people are so ignorant, they thinking that he's going to facilitate a prison. Like, please stop this shit. I had to tell one of my homeboys, like, bruh, you're fucking ignorant. Nah, man. Being formerly incarcerated, they would never allow us to run a prison. So stop the games. Doesn't mean we can't purchase and turn it into a rehabilitation. But you think they'll let us run the prison? Come on, stop this shit. Nah, man. You got to think smarter than that.
Islam. I'm ready.
Okay. So my next question to you, you know, what's your thoughts on Donald Trump? Do you think he's a better president than other ones that held the seat, or is there any other president you're influenced by their work?
Excuse me.
Cause we was chopping it up the other day, so I know you kicked Roosevelt in there as well. Like, hey, Prince, you see what he did?
Man, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna start off with Trump. So Trump, he forced three things in his presidency: the fragility of American institutions, the power of media over public belief, and how divided America truly is. Which one is better and which one is worse? He was different, not traditionally better or worse. Trump exposed the system's inner workings. something few presidents do. Whether one likes him or not, he made millions of people question government, elections, media, law, and economic policy. Presidents were studying for power, and strategy. Franklin D. Roosevelt, mastery of economic restructuring. Dwight Eisenhower understood military and industrial power. Lyndon Johnson knew political leverage and negotiation. And Abraham Lincoln, he had union, contracts, sovereignty, and authority. Barack Obama, he had communication and image as political currency. Each teaches a different strategic lens.
So can you a lot of people are confused, right? They think they look at presidents as like kings or sultans or somebody that controls a sovereign nation. Can you show the difference of the business aspect? A lot of people don't see the business strategy being played. Like Donald Trump, he's a beast. He's a businessman before he came on board. So when he came on board with the United States, nah man, he like, listen, hey, that cash gotta start coming back. Nah man, you ain't got enough money coming back around the block. You feel me? So guess what? 10% here, 10% there, 10% there. Oh, y'all said we in debt? All right, bet. Watch this. We about to tax that too. Now, I mean, let's do an assessment real quick. So, what's your
Donald
intake on
Trump, Donald Trump to me was the last Trump. In the Bible, it talks about the last trump being sounded, not trumpet. Um, and what I just read was artificial intelligence giving me a depiction based upon what I programmed it to do. And in that breakdown, it talked about some key elements and how businessmen ran this country. And each businessman that ran this country as a president was clearly a businessman. They're like in they just to go further, every corporation, when you break it down, it has the same elements that a government has that form what you see today with the institution. So the truth is in plain sight. There is no way that they can hide that anymore. We're dealing with a corporation, and that corporation went bankrupt in 1913.
that?
And in 1933, they enacted a way to bridge between the land, the people, and government or states. And that was done under President Roosevelt.
Absolutely.
But we also have to shed light on what Barack Obama did when he paid homage and brought up the Moors in a public speech or announcement that he was doing. And that was done intentionally because of the wars that he enacted during his presidency. Y'all ever seen Star Wars? Anybody watch Star Wars?
Hmm.
You know, one of my favorite ones is um Attack of the Sith and The Empire Strikes Back.
Mm. That's what we doing, that one.
That's all. That's all that's happening right now. You know, we just regaining order in the galaxy. You know, that's it. But I land though. That's it. That's all I got. Oh, you ready for my question?
Oh, absolutely, brother.
Oh, we see what we got. So, do all public officials owe a fiduciary duty to protect and serve the estate and the occupant of the executor office?
Yes. Um, that's what you call the United States Treasury. She does the assets of the debt ceiling, but she takes an oath to office, and it's described in her oath as an agreement to act in trust. Her job is just to follow orders. You know what I mean? And a lot of us don't understand that we can take our own fiduciary duties and obligations to assess our estate. That's what the treasurer is. You know what I mean? She is assigned and she does the fiduciary duties to the United States as far as banking, accounting, you know what I mean, credit, securities, bonds. They understand that language. We don't. You know what I mean, we're not taught none of this in school. I haven't seen a college that teaches this stuff either, unless you're going specifically for like accounting or something. But her duty, if you read the Constitution, it said all debts are owed to who? Anybody know? All public debts are owed to who?
Treasury.
We don't pay debts. When you authenticate your birth certificate, it says full faith and credit. But ones don't understand that either. And that process is not hard to do. I mean, that process can take up to 11 to 15 weeks. You in the state that you're in to go get the authenticate your birth certificate. It might be a parcel. I mean, it might be the state, but it's not hard. You go get it, get the stamp, county, state, send it off to the federal government in Virginia. They send it back, boom, full faith credit. I mean, so it's like this is things ones have to want to know and to execute. Nah, man, and these ain't classes that are gonna be like, yeah, just blow me up, and nah, man, you definitely have to sit down for a consultation to get all this stuff done. Cause you go to a lawyer, they're gonna charge you 10 times of what we charge. I land my plane, Prince. You got any comments?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm hyped up for the next one.
um, number six, you know, and we going out with a bang. Um, how do Freemasonry play into all of this that's going on today? Yeah.
So, um, There are so many ways that question could be answered, but I'm gonna answer it in the most simplistic way. Um, there is 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on this physical plane of existence. And you have 360 degrees of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding on a spiritual plane of existence. Together, that makes 720 degrees. Um, Everything that you see pertaining to economics is ran off of just 33.
Mm.
Um,
1933.
and Freemasonry is not running the world, but its ideas, its symbols, and organizational principles absolutely shape the world you're living in. Freemasonry, at its core, is a system of moral philosophy, structures of hierarchy and order, a training ground for leadership, and a network of influence. The historical impact of the Freemasonry, many founders of the United States were Masons. Architecture, government structure, and symbols reflect Masonic ideals. The emphasis on contracts, oaths, and obligations aligns with Masonic thinking. Its modern day influence, Freemasonry today is more symbolic than controlling, but its networks still appear in politics. Its symbols are embedded in government. Its philosophy shows up across law, finance, and civic structure. It's less about secret control and more about cultural DNA. The blueprint used when America was built. Islam.
Yeah. And a lot of them Freemasons, they was slaveholders. Um, it has a lot to do with a lot. It just does. I mean, the science go back deep, and it even go way back before the England Scottish York Rite. Goes back to Kemet, the original science. I mean, Kemet, almost 30,000 BCE. So it's here, man. It's here, man. I mean, it said when you call upon when you call upon the studies, a teacher must appear. Man, but that's the only one that's seeking light. But I'm ready for the
Islam.
question.
Islam. And the greatest teacher is the student.
Absolutely, he has to do a lot of studying.
uh,
A student
Talk
has
to
a
him,
teacher,
Craig.
and a teacher is a student.
Mm,
Even though you become a teacher, you're still a student to something.
mm.
You must continue to study. Noble Ali said it 3 times. And you don't ask me again because I'm going to tell you to study yourself again. So our biggest issue is cross-examining ourselves. Okay, that's the study of self. Is you examine yourself. What could you do better? What is your weakest points? What are your fears? X, Y, Z.
Mm. That fire. He said, he said how the world was gonna end. It was gonna end in fire this time. You want to know what that fire is?
Mm-hmm.
The fire is us burning up all the lies and the world being reborn in the truth.
Mm. Everyone's thinking they're going to a hellfire, don't they?
My bad. I just had a thought out loud for a second. But but it says, um, you know, what is the stated purpose of using a general post office? Mailing location. And how does this connect mailing location to jurisdiction and tax status?
So we're dealing with the General Post Office and its jurisdiction. Address avoids territorial and tax jurisdiction. And how are you taxed? Don't you have a mailbox outside? Anybody got a mailbox outside your house? Don't you got numbers on your house?
Mm-hmm.
So you place yourself under a federal jurisdiction.
Mm,
Zip codes are discouraged because they imply commercial activities.
mm,
So now you're running a business without you running a business. So there's going to be taxes assessed. Mailing locations used to claim non-domestics and non-resident status. It's still going back to commercial. It they assume jurisdiction by your address format. We give them so much information for free. We violate our own privacy rights because we don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? You got a warrant for your arrest. You know how the police came and got you? Because you already told them where you live. It's public notice. You know what I mean? They know exactly where you at. It's your mailing address. You ever heard the street term, uh, you never shit where you lay, right? In a dope boy term, he say, you don't never stash your dope where you rest your head. You know why they say that? Because when them people come looking for you, they know where to hit. Your private property shouldn't have no number. It shouldn't have no mailbox. You should have a P.O. box or executive office that is established at the general post office. Even on your state identification card, you still gave them your information. If you set up your executive office, they have to put general delivery on your license. Where when the police run it, it goes straight to the general post office. Know what I mean? You still don't know where I live. Know what I mean? So, that hopefully that covers the question you was asking. Hopefully I broke that down in simple form.
that was beautiful. And also, just to put something into perspective, you can deed a section of your land. Like, let's say that you own 5 or 10 acres, right? You can deed off point 1 acre, right? 0.1 acre to the trust and establish that 0.1 acre once it's conveyed to the trust as the executor office. I'm gonna drop the mic.
Well, I got one more for you, and it ain't really a question. Um, is there anything you would like to drop on the people? I know personally you got a lot of gems, and we could be talking, going back and forth and conversing all night long. But is there any gems you want to drop on the people? before we wrap it up, and we will open the floor before we close out. But do you got anything that you just want to drop on them, or want them to look into?
I'm glad that you asked that. I'm about to go in. I hope everybody paying attention. This is for all the viewers, past, present, and future. Islam. If you don't understand contracts, you don't understand America. Everything is a contract. Employment, citizenship, licensing, finance, court, and interactions. Doesn't matter what type of interaction it may be. Wherever you give consent to your name, your information, your signature, this becomes a contract. If you don't build economic power, nothing else you build will stand. Identity must sit on infrastructure. If you don't learn the system will use you as fuel. You either operate it or become a part of its machinery. Land plus skills plus credit equals real freedom. I'm going to put emphasis on this because this is number 4. I'm going to stand on this one. Land plus skills plus credit equals real freedom. A united people don't need permission. They only need structure. Your rights came before government. Government only recognizes them. You are autonomous. You are Aboriginal. You are the indigenous American. You are everything that they say that you are or that they proclaim you to be. You were here prior to them. And like Prince liked to say, indigenous or indigenous people is recognized as the most ancient form of civilization prior to any being or person that came on this earth. Community is your currency. The people that support you, the people that back you, the ones that see your vision, like-minded, like soul, those are the ones you want to build with. Those are the ones that you want to surround yourself with. That's your currency because you have multiple entities, multiple people, multiple spirits, all pouring into one goal, one mission, one objective. This is where you bring about creation. The Creator talked about it in your Bible, in your Quran. It say all it takes is 2 or 3 to come as a witness. No one rises alone. Islam.
As long, brother. Ball in your court. Then we'll open up for Q&A.
The executor The executive letter is powerful. It's a very fundamental tool. And my question is, what is the function of the executor letter? And what situation does the executor letter instruct it should be used for?
So the executive letter is used to notify others and public officials. It's like a public notice that the executor is acting in authority. It's called a private and non-commercial to avoid contractual assumptions. So you're not pressed it into a legal bounding of the state. You oversee your own affairs, and is used to rebut the assumptions that others have authority over your estates. And that's another thing that you should be implying is your executive letter. And I have helped a lot of brothers and sisters with this. They don't communicate with me now. They came for one reason. You know, they come to get. I guess they call themselves getting free, and then they take off and do what they do. So the executive level letter is definitely necessary because without it, you're not basically showing that you have authority. Know what I mean, like I have an executive letter sent to credit bureaus. When I dispute debit debts or whatever, I explain that I'm the executor. Know what I mean, and I control this estate, and that none of these contracts have my consent, my signature, or anything of these nature. So how are you doing business again? Oh, okay. Do you want a civil suit? Yeah, go ahead and remove that for me, please. Know what I mean? So to be real, when y'all really understand this stuff, you become the motherfucking man. Know what I mean? I don't let nobody play with me at all. Know what I mean? Not on no levels of science. When it comes with that, excuse my language, this that Albion talk. This what they know. Know what I mean? This the lane they playing. So when they get to hearing, oh, you the executor, know what I mean? They used to us saying CEOs and business owners now, but they're not. They still haven't. Our bell is not ringing too hard when it comes to the executor, the estates. Know what I mean? The trusteeship, the trust. That's not ringing hard enough for them. Know what I mean? So when they run into brothers like myself, like it blows their mind. Their cats, it 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 just it blows them. They wasn't expecting it. Know what I mean? It's like when I open my mouth, they expect me to say, "Yo, bro, what's up, homie? Hey, what's going on? What's popping? What's cracking?" Know what I mean? Hey, what's up with it? Know what I mean? Nah, I come in here to do an assessment on my states. I want to convey a couple things into my trust, and put the securities on that. Would like for you to record that and let me get my receipts. Fuck them up, huh? What you did? Say what? Come again? You heard what I said. So like I said, I ain't gonna go too far in that either, cause we definitely been rocking out. But I land my plane, Prince. If you ain't got no comments, uh, we can pop that Q&A real quick.
That Q&A, man, because I'm over here hype. I'm too crunk right now. We need to, you know, we're gonna we're gonna go all the way. We're gonna be on here at 12 o'clock. We're gonna have everybody snoring and stuff on.
They
They're gonna
might be
be on.
already snoring. I mean. So we want to open up the floor for questions and concerns. Know what I mean? If you ain't got no questions, at least say hello, hi. You're here. Did you learn something? You got any questions? How you feeling? Was it very educational? Yeah, that way.
It's long, bro. It's long. You always enjoy the calls, bro. So I gotta get up in the morning and go to work. I don't want to go,
Hey,
but I gotta make a living.
absolutely.
So where do we go? I mean, when does madness stop, Mo? I mean,
It's really taking one step at a time. It ain't gonna change overnight, but taking one step at a time. You know, brothers like me, you, few more of us in the state. You know, our brother, he cracked the code, and brothers that got they shit in line, they gonna be good. And I got some other stuff that's about to pop off. Like, nah, man, it's definitely about to go that way because I ain't gonna lie, like bro turned me up. I ain't gonna lie, he turned me all the way up. I mean, when we chopped it
pick
off,
me ear to my
uh,
pick me ear.
yeah, he turned me
Well,
up. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
he kind of
yeah,
turned the switch on, like, nah,
yeah,
man,
man.
and we talked about this maybe 3 years ago. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we really did.
Right.
And that's what I tell ones. 8 years ago, bro, when we first started being activists and doing for our communities, ones don't understand we was never paid. Know what I mean? A lot of that stuff came out of our pockets. So like I said, like eight being here and looking back 8 years ago, nobody never knew we would be in these positions. So I tell ones, it's always be patient and humble. Cause you never know when that door gonna crack. That door can crack at any given time. Know what I mean? Even with you in your construction business, it might move slow. One day that door gonna crack open. You're gonna have so many jobs. You like, damn, Mo, I gotta find some more people. You know what I mean? I got so many jobs. I'm telling you, that's how it's gonna pop. We just have to be humble and patient because our time is coming. Especially brothers like me and you and some of us like we deserve this shit, bro. We really do. We deserve greatness.
No
I mean,
doubt. Yeah.
it's too much that have been put in. So don't ever doubt that the greatness it ain't gonna come because it is. Know what I mean? Everything has its timing, and you just gotta stay consistent. Know what I mean? Like I got about what? I think I got 6 weeks left. Then it's back to doing this six day shit again. Know what I mean? 80 hours a week, 6 days a week. But know what I mean? I need that baloney to drop. Know what I mean? But the difference with me and a lot of brothers is I love the work I do. I just love repairing the highways. I love traveling all over the state. I get to see different cities. Know what I mean, I get to sit in like 4 to 5 star hotels for free. Know what I mean? So consistency is key. And I mean that door gonna crack open, Mo. Mark my word, bro. Remember we had this call. You're like, Mo, remember you said that? Know what I mean? Boom, that motherfucker gonna crack wide open. Know what I mean? I gotta go find some Migos at Lowe's or something.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody else told me the same thing, bro. Like, man, you just gotta be patient. It's gonna come for you. Cause last year wasn't a good year for me. I mean, I made money, but I didn't make what's called profit money. I made just enough money to keep my business going and have a few dollars left over, whatever, pay my bills and everything, but just want no real major thing. But I'm saying it because, like I told you before, my business ain't about me. It's about brothers coming home, man, need a job, man. I want to be able to provide for them. And a lot of brothers are asking me, man, you got your business, man. I'm gonna need a job, and I just want to be ready for them brothers, man. That's what it's
Well, we
about.
just really, with me and you gotta sit down when you come to Raleigh, and me and
Yeah,
you will sit down, and I will help you with marketing. 'Cause that's how a lot of people get their business. They use these different marketing avenues, so it
right.
sends, it directs the people straight to them. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then like the networking, it's networking too. A lot of people already tied got ties behind closed doors. So now I mean, even with bidding jobs, like that might be his man. So he already, know what I mean, he know what numbers the bid. I was talking about that with somebody else, He like, well, how do I bid against my opponent? You know, you gotta know the numbers they're bidding. They might bid $1,000 under you, and that's why they got the contract. You know what I mean? So a lot of our people have problem with bidding, marketing, and it's behind the scene handshakes. Cause John Kane, he got $1 million projects all over the state. You know what I mean? It's mad different people. Even with our brother, once all the funding come in, you know, you'll be one of the brothers he'll bring in for remodeling. Know what I mean? Cash that out. That's what the funding is about. Know what I mean? So it's like right now it's just stage one. Um and then I got a lot of stuff going on that I'm doing behind the scenes, especially with the stock market. I've been getting up every day mastering the stock market. So know what I mean? That's them that $1 billion sauce. Know what I mean?
No
So
doubt. Yeah.
once I crack that, I'm gonna crack it. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I'm determined. I mean, I don't really. When I tell myself I'm gonna do it, that's just what it is. I don't like to lie to myself. So when I crack that safe in the stock market, like I'm gonna be pouring back into my people a lot. You know what I mean? Like I wanna invest into my people. Like this is a $1 million industry. Like brothers like you, hey bro, hey take this, do this, boom, he on. Hey brother, we got this shaking too. Put that in the game. So it's like what's being created in North Carolina is considered the Underground Railroad. You know what I mean? Where I think by 2030, man, the that way we will be looking in this state compared to others, shit gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
No, I'm gonna appreciate that, good brother. Peace and love.
Islamism. Ain't nobody got no question, no concern. How you feeling? Y'all up here asleep?
Pe- No, peace, peace,
Right.
peace. You over here, flame throwing my spirit right now. You know, over here, flame throwing my spirit got me over here like, man, it's 10 o'clock on my end, man. I'm over here crunk. I'm ready to run through some wall. You know,
That's how I feel, man. I could jump on the motherfucking bed right now.
you get what I'm saying? Like what it is, what we need to do, like what we need to go. Like,
This is
hey man,
empowerment.
but when I bring out that initiative, see everything already in the works. Like once I get that meeting set and get that proposal sent out, man, we finna move and get those board members. Like we're in a beautiful time, and the way that I'm presenting it to the people and the way that I'm gonna give it to the people is gonna be so raw. Anybody can do this. Like I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for everybody.
And
This is something, man. It's gonna be, man. When it hit the scene, it's gonna be so powerful, so monumental. I've already took it a step further and asked ChatGPT to create an act for me. I'm gonna have a petition that creates an act that gets signed into law. It's gonna be beautiful, man.
and what I
And
what
then,
I
yeah.
what I do want to implement is a business course for our people, which they make a little
Mm.
small donation for our time. But I even want to help our brothers marketing, even with the initiative you put together. Like I said, that'll hit internationally. Um, with the Empress and a lot of stuff we have going on behind the scenes. Like That's why I think I
Mhm.
need to give my company one more year. You dig what I'm saying? Because even with my brother Manil Bay, he give me his cards. I ain't tripping. Know what I mean? I'll drop that motherfucker all over the state. You hear me? Know what I mean? I'll be in the cities anyway. Hey, boom, put that in your store. Bang, bang, bang. Same thing what we got going on. I'm gonna drop the ball on. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Same thing with the Emperors and the insurance. I mean, you got insurance, you bang, bang, bang. I'm dropping 5 cores every stop I go to. You dig what I'm saying? Somebody gonna pick this shit up. Know what I mean? Somebody look,
it's it,
especially in them country cities. Know what I mean? They don't
it's
have
gonna
nothing
be
out there.
it's gonna be monumental, brother, and like you know the way that it can be incorporated is just everybody getting on board. Like I already been like, man, I was talking to you about this the other day. I'm blessed in more ways than one because I've already been at all the tables.
Mm,
It's just about me stepping back to those tables with the final product.
absolutely.
You you know what I'm saying? And I need the right people in position because when it hits, like just with what I know about taxes and all the credits that I can obtain just from taxes and everything else as far as grants, funding will be secure,
Mm,
right? Really where we have to hone in and where we have to put our heads together and why the creator is so omnipotent, we're gonna need the hands, the ones that are willing to learn the future that we're stepping into and understand the worth of it, right? You have that already. And between all the people you know, you have that.
mhm.
Creator, he's omnipotent, man. I tell you. And, you know, like I know you can already envision, like I can, a ad. Like imagine an ad coming across your screen. Like this is where I'm at with it. Like an ad coming across your screen talking about it, signing up for the petition, signing up, um, to come participate or volunteer, you know. Like there's so many different programs that can be implemented. And I actually outlined all of those programs and everything can be formed under this one business module. And then we can market it and sell it, like you said earlier, internationally, because this would be the future. We're laying the framework, the foundation.
And the prophet prophesied of us coming to do so. So this was written. Even Jesus said, "Isn't it written in your law?" Know what I mean? The same thing. The prophet written it, it becomes law because that's what we're about to demonstrate. It ain't even about what we about to do because we already been demonstrating. Now we're in the stage of execution. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Now it's time to execute. And the ones that are not ready, they're just gonna get left behind. Don't mean we ain't gonna be able to help them. They just not gonna be a part of this spaceship because this spaceship, you have to have a certain clearance. I mean, and that's just what it is. Because even I done taught so many people on these platforms, and you done drop gems on them too. We done ran through so many different people. We know who we want to deal with and who we don't.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Even dealing with the more society. We done deal with the dumbasses, the ones that think they know it all, the ones that don't execute, the ones that make the shit look good, the ones that really want to learn. You know what I mean? We done seen it all. So it's like when I see people and I talk to them, I already know what I'm dealing with because I done seen your con before. I mean, you're full of shit. You're just talking that shit. I'm cool. You got an excuse for everything. I mean, that's why I didn't get done. Okay, I get it. Well, I don't. I'm cool. I'm not a part of that arena.
What did I tell you when I first met you?
Drop it on them.
I said that I'm an agent on behalf of the prophet.
Yeah.
And when I brought that up, it was only you and a few chiefs that I talked to um, between the different nations that understood what I said when I said what I meant.
Once
Everybody else was just like, "You're an agent," like they
ignorancy. That's like what I told you today. I'm not gonna repeat it, but you know. Know what I mean? When it comes to the bloodline, he came, she came, and now I am here. Know what I mean? It is what it is. I tell ones all the time I'm here to do the works. I cannot be distracted by anything. The works must be done by all means necessary. It could be one, it could be 1,000, it could be 1,000,000, it could just be me. Oh fucking well. Still gotta get done. Grass still gotta be cut. There's a lawnmower, I'm about to go use it. I know, bro. Uh, folks, L wanted to say something. I do want to hear from Mobitis too, as well. Y'all been up here quiet.
Peace, peace, beloved. Um, I just wanted to say I definitely appreciate the build tonight. I definitely learned a lot. I don't have any questions at the moment. Actually, you know what I do. So the one question I wanted to ask was, so you were saying that we could stop using our address, get a PO box, right? As far as like removing our residents from federal jurisdiction.
Right.
All right,
That's
so
considered. That's called a general post office, executive office. So you basically using a post office. So nothing's gonna come to your house. It's not a mailing address unless
right,
you put it in the system and you want them to send it there. It's you remember they say shipping and mailing,
right,
right?
right, 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 right,
So you can have stuff shipped to your house as your warehouse. When it comes to your resident, make sure that shit is at the post office. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, you know what I mean? You gotta go find the postmaster, give him the executive letter. You know what I mean, stand on law, cause he gonna play with you. Like, man, the fuck you think you doing? Huh? What is this? Oh, this is XYZ. Boom, bang, 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 bang. Here you go. Boom, it's notarized. All right, let me get my slot. Boom, there you go. Go pick my shit up from the post office.
right,
Then you go to the DMV and change it. Now put on my ID, general delivery. Know what I mean? Here you go. Boom, I'm homeless. Know what I mean? You don't own your home or your residence. See, you're homeless. So
right,
what address can I use? The post office. Know what I mean? And if I don't own this state or this country, I'm still homeless because I'm still not at home. Know what I mean? I'm still caught up in y'all 64 business, 440.
overstood, overstood. But yeah, that was the only question I had. But yeah, I definitely appreciate the build tonight. That's peace.
You already, brother. Sisters, goddess, Mobitis. Going once, going twice.
I done hogged up all the time, man. I won't. We'll be talking to 11 or 12 my time, so I'm gonna land where we are. We'll pick up on another live, but When we come back, I'd love to unpack how we can revitalize America, because that's
Absolutely.
the act.
Absolutely.
You understand? You call what I put down the revitalize America act. Gonna be cold, man. It's gonna be fire.
Well, we'll sum this up. I think the podcast went to almost an hour and 30, maybe 2 hours, maybe I don't know, but this will be posted online. Um, so ones can't go online and give us feedback. We will check back in the comments to see what the questions and concerns are. Um, to contact me or Prince Iyan L. It ain't hard. We'll go back and review it and drop information so you can reach out, whatever. Peace be upon you and your family. All praise due to the great God Allah, the Elohims, your creator, the source, whoever you pray to, peace be upon you and light. El Shaitan Rajim, all that good stuff. We land our plane. Hopefully, this information here tonight um, takes you in a new direction. Peace.
Peace, Mo.
Peace, man.
Peace.
Peace, love.
Peace, love, and light.